Good morning, everyone. So I'm just sitting here and just contemplating some thoughts and frustrations, and I'm like, why am I so frustrated? Where is this frustration coming from, and why are these thoughts that are starting to appear, why are they coming? And so I just wanted to make a video and just to say that be gentle with one another. We're all like planetary bodies in a system, in a bigger, larger body, and we're all just rotating and moving around one another in certain ways, and we move into each other's orbit in many ways, and we've got to look at each other as childlike, like that little. When I was little, I was just a little buff baby that had no idea what I was doing, and I'd run full flat, probably hurt someone in my orbit, not just excited and not knowing, and innocent, not knowing what we're doing. So be gentle on one another today and forever. Be gentle on one another, because we are all these children, no matter how smart we think we are, no matter how intellectual we are, and no matter what we think and who we think we are. Just remember that gentleness comes from the Father, and the spirit of peace moves around that gentleness as well. And just remember these attributes, because we've got to be these attributes, and sometimes we don't realize that our orbit and our planetary body and the energy and the data that's within us is having a large effect on the people around us, and for they know not what they do. Of course, but that's not an excuse not to go within and say, am I having an effect on people around me? And is it connected with the attributes of the Father? And so these are good questions to ask ourselves. Then sit and ponder on that for a while. Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Spend more than just what you were going to spend. Give it a little bit of extra time, is what I'm saying. Is because sometimes we might not be contemplating and sitting and resting in these thoughts as much as what we should be. So be gentle with one another, and I can kind of visualize the bodies that are around us, and because I visualize myself and how sometimes I can, my foot can leave a footprint on a certain situation, and I'm like, oh, well, what do I do? Do I tippy toe? It's like, no, we've just got to understand and forgive this within others, because we understand that these things are going to happen, that we're going to say things that people don't like, we're going to say things that we might not even like afterwards, we're going to do things that people might disagree with. So just practice these things within yourself and be gentle on one another, because we all do leave a footprint, and we all do orbit each other in certain ways, and we do sometimes have a bigger body or an orbit and more of a footprint in these things, and that's cool. We grow up in this system, and we start to learn what a persona of who we truly are, and that's what they're teaching you. And as you recognize yourself and you become lesser and lesser, for you, for them, for her, for that person, and the denying yourself part of that is becoming lesser, because you understand that this is how things work. And becoming lesser means your orbit you become lesser, you become smaller, and because you know the truth. The truth is not competitive. It doesn't compete. It doesn't need to compete. So you do become lesser automatically, because you look at within yourself and you go, do I need to defend myself right here? Do I need to defend this? Do I even need to say one word to this person right now about this? And do I need to come in and try and teach them something? No, you don't. You absolutely don't. That's your choice, whether you do or not. But as you start to understand the attributes of the Father, becoming lesser, denying oneself, and it's because you understand the human condition, you understand what condition you are in, your own condition, and you understand it so well that you know that I don't need to be like that. Even if we used to be like it, you don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to bring something to someone else's attention. You only feel you need to bring it to their attention. And as you journey through this and you start to just go, and challenge yourself. I feel the urge, the desire to speak right now and bring this to their attention. Challenge yourself. Well, hang on. I do feel the desire and the urge to bring this to their attention, but what happens if I don't? What happens if I don't? Okay, I'm going to challenge myself, and I am not going to bring this to their attention. I'm not going to defend or offend. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to let that rest, and I'll open my eyes and ears to see what the Father does with this if something occurs. Challenge yourself, because these things, they don't matter no more. They don't matter no more. They're not where you're going to reside in the end. So these challenges are good to have within oneself. So be gentle with one another. Understand that your orbit can have a large effect on other orbits, and we move to and fro. And as you come into something or someone else's orbit, you don't usurp it or Visica Pisces this orbit. You flow with this orbit, and then you release yourself as much as you release them back into their orbit, if it's not an orbit that's going to stick or it's going to stay. And because we want to grab hold of something, it's like, I'm so familiar with this orbit, I want to stay around it. I'm going to stay in this orbit of this person or this group situation that I'm in. I'm going to stay in this orbit. Yeah, it's comfortable. And yeah, it's scary when you're letting go into freedom, when they're actually in the Father's will and not your own. It does get a little bit scary. But fear doesn't have an effect on you. You get scared, yes. But it doesn't stop you. So release them from your orbit, and release yourself from their orbit, and watch what happens. Watch what the Father does. We all are going to end up eventually orbiting around the perfect placement of where we're meant to be orbiting, and patience is needed for this. But just understand that we can all be. We've all got our own individual body, and this spirit is connected and one with each other, but we've all got our own footprint that we press upon whatever situation or wherever we are, and we can all be in our own little la-la land. I just remember when you're watching kids in a playground and you see when you're judging between the bullies and the really innocent, quiet one sitting over there, and all of a sudden the big dude runs through unwillingly, unknowingly. I think I was fat. I think I was fat when I was little. So I was like a chubby baby. And I was so excited that I did not understand. I just was like, what? Excitement! Rah! And I just would run and do silly things. And that poor, quiet, timid child that's in their orbit, I would knock their blocks over, or I'd run through, or I'd clash into them, and then we'd both start crying. That's what we are in this as we're learning. So just remember, there's timid little learners, and there's excited, buffy babies that seem like they're bullying because they have no idea how to contain themselves. The spirit in them is so powerful and strong, they have no idea how to contain themselves. So let's just recognize this with one another and in one another so that we can better navigate how to be able to be in the presence of each other without, you know, certain things happening, silly things, and, you know, less arguments and all that sort of stuff. So be gentle with one another, stay in love, remember your footprint, remember that we all are we're all coming to a truth and an understanding of of these things and the truth, and we're all going to have to empty our cup within the next 10 minutes or tomorrow. So don't hold on to anything right now. You know, don't hold on to that and go, oh, that's it, or whatever. Just let it go. Move forward, repent, change your mind, keep moving forward in this way. That's all I got to say today. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I shall talk to you later.